Manu pasa masuato, Manu tika masuato, Manu paya masuato, Amatiga nyakaba masuato, Abasiaso. I want Suato, Abasuato, Adesiayope. Israel, I want me on my baby. Israel, you're a jump, I walk my dog. I pass a car, Suato, Monsiwango. Java the solar, Suato, Monsiwango. That's why I want to do, and it's all to the old job. I turn up on this right, I want to not do a job.
Attention, please.
Come on, come Swati, okay, I'm on board place. See what I was what Bolito. That's right, I'm on your damn one of eating. Monophone, my dear, you are not good. David, you are not good. I am Simon. Gideon, dear, we all do us what you see one kid. I used to Manu pasa masuato, Manu tika masuato, Manu paya masuato, Amatiga nyakaba masuato, Abasiaso. I want Suato, Abasuato, Adesiayope. Israel, I want me on my baby. Israel, you're a jump, I walk my dog. I pass a car, Suato, Monsiwango. Java the solar, Suato, Monsiwango. That's why I want to do, and it's all to the old job. I turn up on this right, I want to not do a job.
Good evening, welcome. I'm Alphonso Zean Soe of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. As usual, today is Friday. Here we are this evening with our regular editions of LPR-TV Live with the Panelists. Stay tuned. We're going to get this program going to right here to right now. Taking you to Greater Liberia, that's Bon County. Good evening. Welcome, Jackson Swan. Good you are here this evening. This is the Liberia Public Radio. Zilit and the legend himself, Kai Jarawlet, the best author, seller of the book, Liberty Hajai. Good evening and welcome to the show. And that's the beauty of the Liberia Public Radio. Very, very much inclusive, taking that tribe in all of the political subdivisions in the country. If you are from Bon County this evening, this program is dedicated to you. Welcome, Mr. Stewart. Mike McCarthy Johnson, good evening. Welcome. Christopher Lottie Tobasi. Just a new man, no exception. Mixing himself, Victor Mixon. Good evening, and thank you for joining us here this evening. By the way, we're taking a ride to Bon County, and before I go to Granger County, I gotta go through Bon County, so I gotta be nice. And I want to Amos George and Dr. Toto. That's your area. Welcome, Mr. Boy. Good evening. Here, by the way, everybody be part of the conversation this Friday. Alright, so what a good way of starting the program is this evening. Alphonso Zean Soe. All right, what a beautiful way of welcoming all our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Alphonso Zean Soe of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We say welcome to our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for your commitment to this network. A lot is unfolding in the new space of Liberia, and we always find pleasure to have this conversation here. To all our men and viewers, listeners, thank you so much for joining us. Hit the share button and invite someone at your company. There comes our guy, the primetime man, Mr. Wilson Boy. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Tonight, I am in charge. You know, when the lion of the jungle is not around, and you have people that are liberal operating and creating their own talking point, making up stuff, and then say the Minnesota politicians all helping to facilitate that as well. But let's then come here this evening. Madam Agnes Johnson, good evening. Thank you for joining us here, right here on the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. Let's get a program going to right here, right now. Okay, we want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Alphonso Zean Soe of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for being part of today's program. As usual, Mr. Cromant, good evening. Thank you for being here. I'm Alphonso Zean Soe. Today is Friday. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, and thank God a lot of news in the airspace that we need to review and take a look. Very shortly, the analysts are going to be here. We're going to be having a wide range of conversations right here on this network. Hopefully they come because for some reason I can't find my connector, and I didn't realize that until it was almost time. And so maybe we'll use the Libra phone line this evening. That would be very, very dangerous for me. Using the Libra phone line, I'm not sure how they're going to pay out here this evening, but we're going to see how that works. And hopefully we're going to have that conversation. Maybe if I just put it through the speaker, who knows, they're going to grab the sound, but we want to make sure we provide a quality. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the show. I'm Alphonso Zean Soe of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV right here. So let's wait and see here. In the meantime, let's have some quick commercial commitment. This is what keeps us going here as well. And so if you want to advertise your business, you want your event to be broadcast, to be viewed, also let us know. That's another way of by providing sponsorship. This is LPR. If you're first time here, we'll say good evening and welcome. We are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube, and we are live on LinkedIn as well. These are all high-profile social media outlets. So you can advertise as well. Let's take a quick commercial break, and I will be right back.
Welcome to Fiber Queen off of Woodland. Everyone that's looking for nice African for wedding, whatever fiber you need, you can just come over here. You have all this nice stuff. If you need ashebi, you guys can come over here for baby shower, for wedding. You guys are welcome. She had really nice stuff. You can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then they're going to be telling you all kind of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fiber you're looking for and match it for the men. And, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and ashobi hand ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fiber Queen on 6695 off of Woodland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome, 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 welcome. You have nice stuff here for ladies, for men, for kids, and for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia is 100% African-owned business. At Fabric Queen, we are specialized in high quality wax product, Swiss lace, jewelry, and beauty products that will make you shine like the queen of fabrics. We are located at 6625 on Woodland Avenue, 10 Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-800-0228. Tell the management of Fabrics Queens in Philadelphia is Zean Soe of the Liberia Public Radio gives you this message. Tell all Akwaba.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I'm a customer of Uncle Musa. I came here to get some things from grocery. Their things are so nice. They never get expired. They are the best quality. They have the best price ever anyone can get. They have so many things like cream, like meat, a lot of kind of meat. We have so many kind, and it's the best grocery store I've ever seen here in Woodland. We are located at the 65th and Woodland. If you want, I really appreciate you guys to come over to come and patronize with us because they sell the best quality.
Uncle Musa's Groceries on Woodland Avenue, 6523 Woodland Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. Musa's store is composed of varieties of African food as well as Americans, but predominantly African food. You have dry fish, you have cassava, you have yams, you have plantains, bananas, and Musa even goes out of his way to pay people extra to cut the potato grains for customers to save them extra time. We have deeper, we have fufu, we have the refrigeration center Then we also have cosmetics. This is a place to come in Philadelphia. If you come to Philly, you don't reach to Uncle Musa's Groceries, you have not made your trip complete. Welcome, and we look forward to seeing you sponsoring our business. Thank you.
This is Uncle Musa's store. 64.
Good evening. It's 8:19 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Alphonso Zean Soe. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. We say thank you for sharing your evening here. Just before we go, as you know, the traditions of this network, we always make news proportional, fair balance, and not just only within our own space, but also try to get out of our own comfort zone and bring you up to speed. Some of the news making headlines across. Latest news just coming here, monitoring from major cable network, France 24, is reporting just like a minute ago while coming on air. Gabon to reduce its presidential term to 5 years just before election. Parliament took a consequential decision from 7 to 5. 7 to 5. And I believe it's not an issue of they are all members of the ruling party. I believe opposition, independent, liberal, not the liberal type that we have on this network, but the moderate liberal, not a liberal who talking point just in his favor. That California Nancy Pelosi type of liberalism, that's not why we're talking about liberal who actions is more reflective of what is happening in real time world. We're not talking about the liberal that are in a fantasy land. That's not what we're talking about. They took a decision from 7 just it's almost going to be their election. The parliament, that's the first branch of government. From 7, say no, we can't continue to have this for 5 years. I wanted to send it they may not able to call their own term. Okay, the panelists, they are here. And we are getting news. The Liberal is going much deeper like a groundhog from Toad Town, getting some news. Is he moving towards CDC? We were just in the conversation. And I dare him to defy me because he's on record. He's called. You know what happened to Jesse Jackson, right, with Barack Obama? And then Mike was, I didn't mean it to record him, but I set my equipment and everybody can call. So let's see. But the Liberal is here joining me this evening from Saxtown, Sacramento. Here he is. And of course, our own senior contributor based in the Garden City of New Jersey, Madam Koto Balayen Jala is here. Let me move this here. Guys, good evening. Koto, we say good evening and our prayers and thought out to you despite your bereavement, but you're here to give back to our community. Hey, Aaron, good evening. Hopefully you come back. Don't let the guys to intimidate you and think that something to Sisi Goyo, Amos George, these people who wanted to loot the elections, want to come and kind of intimidate. Okay, guys, good evening. Welcome. The Liberal.
Good evening, Mr. Soe. Madam Kotu, we sympathize with you, and we ask God to give you solace of whatever it is, to give you peace as well. And I was, again, sympathize with your loss. Thank you, Mr. Soe.
Yeah, Kotu, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Soe. And I just want to say thanks, from the good message from you guys. I appreciate all the messages, text messages and calls. I want to say thank you guys so much for being there.
Okay. This guy, my man, all the guns you brought from Total, you say they made you commissioner. We have not even seen your certificate. You're alone just wearing all your guns. How can I, man? You don't even, yeah. You stay one more, you don't even bring one piece of cloth for people, man.
Bro. the LPR CEO. I want to come the people.
All right. Okay, guys. Let's get the library people business going. We say good evening. Samson, Mr. Tool, for some reason I can't find my connector with the phone, but we intend to engage the audience as well. But I don't know whether you took it or how can it disappear. So probably you, Nana Carter or whoever in the position to make their line available. I will try. If it works, that's okay. But I will try. If you can also display your line. 185 days to presidential elections in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. What did they say to go to the other day? Farmington what? Beach or hotel? What was the purpose of that meeting, by the way? To do what?
They went there as traditionally done to sign an agreement that there will be no cheating, there will be no disagreement otherwise that will lead to some instability in the election. So that was their major aim. And it is done by all political parties, including the ruling party.
So who is the initiator of that? What is the purpose? What is the significance of that? They should be telling people to turn out to register to vote. Or is one of these parties, are they endeavor to cause chaos because that's their language, that's their tone, they are unable to contain their supporters, they are surrogate. So they desire to go and meet. So what is the status of the agreement there now? Will they acknowledge the result of the election no matter what? Is that part of the arrangement? Or did they go have fun time, cool themselves, or drink nice and cold beer and making ass out of Liberians? What's the significance of that? Somebody needs to talk to me. A liberal, let's see. I'm quite sure you're going to take a liberal line here, which of course is expected. What is the purpose of that meeting?
Mr. So,
for us to start hearing some crap.
Mr. So, thank you very much, but I'm not too sure what is happening with you tonight. Your language are not kinds of language that we as audience and participator on LPR will want to listen to tonight.
It's too much.
Yes, I understand, but you are not just a commentator. You are the CEO of a major network. And so your language and the words that comes out of you have to be something that is of a decent nature. And I hope you will change, because not only I am not a member of this LP, I'm also a board member.
You don't even know your position.
I am the board member, board chair, honor cover board chair to speak, because the real board chair is in Liberia, and I'm honor cover board chair. And so if you don't change your tune, I might just convene an honor cover board and we might fine you. Having said that, Mr. So, all of these things stay there. Let's do this here. The intent, I believe, of that meeting was to preempt whatever intent of thing that other supporters and spectators might want to have in mind to derail the prospect of Liberians going to the poll, enjoying themselves and exercising their free will to elect their president. And so by the leadership of all political parties coming in and say, let's sign a pledge, hopefully the supporters will follow the lead of each of their political leaders and try to stay away from anything that resembles violence, or that will even try to trigger any kinds of response violently from any other person. And so the meeting was in place, was attended by international community and accepted by international community as a goodwill gesture on the part of all political parties to tell the Liberian people that this time around there will be no violence. If you don't agree with us, vote for someone else, but don't vote in the process of trying to create some sort of a havoc where you will infringe on the freedom of other Liberians. And so the meeting is quite in place, Mr. So, despite your conservative view that you're here tonight to somehow not condemn, but to question the motives of the honorable men and women, by the way, to make sure Liberia is safe.
Do they have control over violence?
Mr. So, not quite. They do not have control, but however, there are people who strongly support each of the political leaders and believe in them. And so you cannot follow a political leader, I believe, to say you're strongly supporting that person.
You don't listen to them.
Mr. So, the liberal is on the floor. I'm not in a courthouse. We're here to have a conversation about our country. And you cannot treat me as though Donald Trump is on stand. No, you're going to have to treat me as a contributor of who I am to this network. So let me go on. The point here is that why they might not have control over the outcome of individual involvement. However, as an individual, if you intend to participate freely into this election, you're most likely going to have to select someone who you're going to want to vote for. Okay. And so if you believe in that person, want to vote for that person, most likely you will tend to want to listen to that person and make sure you follow the lead of the person. Now, the question then is, what if some of the leaders themselves decide to violate this rule that they have put in place? Then what? Well, that's an interesting question I pose for myself. However, the answer to that is this. I think, as Mr. George and almost Sister Goya stated yesterday, once we all feel that our leaders must have the ability, if they do wrong, to say, I take responsibility, and we move on.
You're not answering my question. Let me go to New Jersey. Probably, hopefully, I will get some hot pepper questions from that. Madam Balayan, good evening.
What New Jersey have to do with hot pepper? What that got to do with anything here?
I want to answer that. I'm going to really give me some brain here this evening. You're not answering my questions. You, as usual, you try to have your own say here. So, and I'm not saying, I'm sure the audience either not happy with you with the manner in which you are answering the question here. Koto, is that a priority? These people going meeting, or we're going to sign, I don't know whether it's a communicate or whatever. It's almost like I remember during the heat of the war, and you have this warring faction going from meeting to meeting, somewhere another way of wasting resources, and took us ever so for the long years and putting things together to make them to hold on to state power. But that meeting, was it necessary?
Yeah, Mr. So it's tradition. I think some sign. I don't know since when it was organized, but from I think Ellington, I also saw the Harley. It is organized actually by the National Election Commissions. And then the international organizations are all, invited to be part of the signing ceremonies. The thing about it is they won, the political parties up to 27 to 31 political parties to be able to talk to their various, members, because they are stakeholders into the whole process. If these political parties can be able to talk to their supporters in any way or manner, they will be able to control violence during the election. And that's why they hold them responsible, because they feel that they are head of political institutions. And being head of the institutions, somehow they have voice over them, or they have power to, regulate it in some way, informing their supporters. So indeed, it is it's important, because that to some level will be control. Because if I can control my group and you control your group, we all come together, we'll be able to control our various, groups in a manner that we will have a peaceful election. That's what actually is meant for.
I'm a free thinker, and so I always like to go out of the box. I don't just see all that is glitter or is a gold, browse and all of those.
You have the right to go out of the box.
Be inside. I'm looking at the past history of these people. They are supporters, they are surrogates, they are talking heads, guy, who some of them have made a proclamation that they're not going to listen to these leaders. These leaders don't feed in, and more or less, the leaders are afraid of them because they do not want to take a political risk. And so going to these meetings and leaving some of these people out, what is the commitment? What are they trying to project? So what is it? What is the treaty signed at that conference now? Will they honor it? Will they accept the results of the elections? They started with the conspiracy. Election will be rigged. The election is not free and fair. Yahweh now coming out, they're calling on NEC for the extension. When they should have used that time to mobilize, to talk to their supporters, to talk to electorates, since they are looking for the job, to tell them to go out and register. Instead, they were involved in the same Donald Trump tape. Don't listen to these people. Don't mind them. The election will not be free and fair, and other people are doing what they are doing. Now they go on and come at us to come tell us or to appeal for the extension. That's just been very, very much dishonest, and that's my view. The liberal.
Those are your views. Clear, fair, except we're not going to accept your views. I just want you to know that. And you're not going to bamboozle any of us to accept your view. You can narrate all your views you want, but it's up for me as a liberal and someone who online with these political leader aspirations of trying to have free and fair election in Liberia. I'm not going to even entertain your view. You have the right to express it, and you're freely welcome to express it. But that doesn't mean it's going to be accepted. Not by me, it's going to be accepted by the audience. Let me say this, Mr. Soe. Here is what perhaps you need to understand. You're going back to J.J. Robert time, try to bring up issues that will not be any kinds of a substance.
Okay, let me be a little bit illustrative.
So the liberal is on the floor. You can't do this to the liberal because the liberal is the liberal that have to be allowed to express themselves. You see, this is where you conservative. And this is some of the conservative did with the three Democrats in Tennessee yesterday, expelling them for no reason other than expressing themselves freely. You spoke here for almost 5 minutes. I didn't interrupt. I didn't say anything. The liberal allow you to. Now I'm expressing myself. You're going to interject, and the most likely you're going to say, "I'm the moderator." Mr. Soe, they can't fly all the time. So please let me land. The point here is this: these people, the political leaders themselves, have talked within themselves. Let's get together and then announce to the people, not just to the Liberians, but to the world, that even though election in Africa are very contentious, I mean, there's no question asked. Election anywhere is always will create some huge emotional issue that affect people than any other thing. Okay. However, the point these people were making, and for me, I accept it, is that the upcoming election, and the president laid out very clearly, the upcoming election must be free, fair, and free of violence. Fine. He also stated, he didn't come in to say, I want you people to vote for me because I've done this, I've done that. He said all of us, Liberians, must take pride into this process. Because when we do so, the future generation will look back on these days and try to emulate to make sure there's no violence in whatsoever in the upcoming and the future generation election. Mr. Soe, if people of that nature, leaders from that perspective, will come and talk to you and say, this is what we want to take this country, and you're going to question and bring up back 1980 ideas on a...
Okay. You seems to be in fantasy land. But before I go to Koto, just to disagree you talking about 1980. One, your son Costa said he's not going to listen to his political leaders. Normally, boycott, nobody going to talk to him. You're going to listen. You're going to do whatever you're going to do. Two, your friend Akara Gray said he was not listening to anybody, and he marched on to right in the compounds of the University of Liberia. Today, your guy in the House, the first branch of government, the Wagis, Yaka Koloba. I have no regret. I will say what I want to say. Boyka can stop me, Kume can stop me. If they don't want, they can go. Why they didn't call them to be part of that? Because those are the people they're supposed to lead. Is that a JJ Rubber conversation? Koto, let me just bring you here. Am I making up anything? Do I not have right to question what is the control these people they have for their people? Yes, we can have a conversation. It's true, but it must come with honesty as well. You can't come from meetings, you can't come from treaties, and then you come back, you want to be like a snake in the grass.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. To. Let me say, Mr.
No,
To.
I'm not told. Don't call me told.
Yeah, okay. I just took the T off. Sorry, I put it back. I put the S. That's all.
Please. I don't want to be told.
Okay, Mr. So.
Oh,
okay. What happened is this. There is nowhere where a group of people come together. You will have that 100%, coverage to say that there will be no misunderstanding. Of course, there will be misunderstanding, but there will be somehow coordination and control. If one person comes out and be disorderly, or display disorderly conduct, that does not mean the whole institution is in disorder. But I think to some level they will have control over them. We just have to put law in place. We put law in place. Not everybody abide by the law, but we put the law in place that at least, if not majority, but half of the people will follow the law. And I think that's why it's for. If one person is out, does not mean that that will not hold. And I think to some level we're going to hold, because they have to respect their leaders and respect what the cost is. Election is election, and what they should be doing now, I think people should start complaining now and just continue to work instead of though there are some like, for example, like some issues that are coming out, they have the right to flag these issues. So if they are flagging, then it doesn't necessarily mean they are causing noise. If there are issues that need to be corrected, and if they have to voice their it is left with a very institution that is, responsible for this act to make correction now, that we would not face irregularity in the elections. So I think it's necessary.
okay. I wish you luck. Be in the directions of the Liberal. I will see how far the boycott and the ANC will go. Let's see how this ship will angle here this evening. Okay.
So where you live in the CDC? You said you measure Akara's grade.
No. Listen, I'm speaking a specific term. I'm saying no. What I'm saying, the reason I say ANC and boycott is, anyway, maybe when George comes, then we'll see, because the Liberal, nobody knows what he's saying. So the next thing now he will, but anyway, you all are in the same column. Okay, the meeting is over. What next? After the meeting, what is coming out? The Liberal is being deaconed extensively. Let me get your honest part of view here. Liberal, the meeting is over. What is Goodrich saying?
The who? Who say what?
Reginald Goodrich, Rainbow. The rainbow that is over Liberia. What is he saying?
Well, the meeting.
Or after all of that, what are you gathering from your search?
Mr. So, it is very sad, and I will go extensively into this conversation on Monday. It is very sad. First, I am not here to make excuses for the president utterance. I am not here to make excuses for the president seemingly violation of his own rule, which he had just signed. However, the idea is that we must accept each other as a human being. And as a human being, you're not divorced from emotion, a high tap. Every one of us has the ability to be emotionally charged from time to time. However, we as a human being as well, When we get to those type of situation, a position like that provide, we should have the ability to compartmentalize issues. And I think in this particular instance, the president was unable, my belief, to actually contain himself and be the father of the nation as he were when he read that speech. However, Reginald Gurich, the story about what he put out, he has to be very careful because he can be challenged. And I'm waiting and I'm hoping to see him tomorrow on our sister network, the Spoon Network, and listen to what he's going to say. Yeah, this is the thing about this president. Before he became president of the Republic of Liberia, he's genuinely a huge celebrity in the world. Not only in the world of football, but somebody, because of his talent, have gotten to that point. He's a huge celebrity. And so if you go on any website, any Google, and you type in the president's name, bunch of writing will come up. People started writing about him when he started playing football. So every little thing that is connected to him, many of them has been written. And so the fire issue about his house is nothing, it's not an isolation issue either. There are people that have been writing about this, some foreign writers. So Mr. Goodrich have to be very careful how he engaged the president, because they are writing about this type of situation in Liberia. I'll give you an example, and I'm not going to go deep into it. Now, my involvement here now is this. Before I give you an example, this is what Goodrich wrote. And I thought, if you're going to bring these kinds of situations, you will not win. If you're going to bring in the Congo country situation, you will not win, because we're more than you. We're more than you. And if we just forget about the entire country, just take the Southeast alone, we can beat the Congo people when it comes to politics. Any kind of political leader the Congo people put before us, we will beat them. But we don't want to take that route. Listen to what Goodrich wrote here. Okay? He said, this is what he said: I, as an icon of this proud family, nobody disputing that, because I'm not a member of his family, so he can give himself a title, that's fine. Okay? At this point, will not stand idly and allow my family name to be tarnished by a bold-faced lie and allegation by a president. Okay, that's fine. But this is the interesting one here that he went to. He said, we recall 43 years ago, good men from decent families in Liberia were falsely accused of rampant corruption. They were subject to a mockery trial by kangaroo court and executed like animals. Now that can be disputed, hugely disputed. I'm not a young person. I saw the coup. I saw all of the participation, all of the happening of the coup. There were Liberian, thousands, millions of Liberians was in the street celebrating the overthrow of the two-way party. You can't fool us.
Okay, let me hold you.
So please,
hold on 1 second. Listen. We are not roller skating. This is not tour time.
But can I finish my train of thought, please?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. As I was saying, you cannot fool us. Secondly, you cannot write the story that we ourselves was involved in. Many of us have educated ourselves. We're not depending on Congo people alone anymore. So you can't come out and make these kinds of stories up as though we have no response to it. So if Reginald Guri, if he can just go between him and the president and take the rest of the Liberians out, that's fine. But if he comes like this, then we will have to respond effectively and making them understand that Liberia does not belong to them anymore. Like my father used to pay taxes and we didn't get no benefit. Many of them were coming to the United States to study all the bikes of the Liberians. You better not get there because we will respond. Let me show you something very quickly. There was an article that was written back in 2001. Okay. And I'm not going to go. It said Jack the Ripper came in. Okay. The story here is in 2001 by a huge writer. This person is recognized all over the world. The person has won a lot of awards. I'm not going to go into that yet right now. So, but the main thing here is this. This is what it said. Okay, let me go to that. In that process, according to the story, George, we are cousins, were raped in the house. But let me go on. Okay. It is alleged that Reginald Goodrich, according to the story, and I say according to the story, okay, this is what it said. Immediately after the attack, Taylor's longtime and aide, Reginald Goodrich, now his press secretary, took possession of Wea Masadi and drove it proudly throughout the city of Monrovia. This was an article that was written back in 2001. 2001 when Taylor was still in power, I believe. So if you're going to challenge the president on this, you have to be very careful. And this article was written not because of that. This article was written because of the president's contribution to the upliftment of the Republic of Liberia. When they were tearing the country down, this president, according to this story, was uplifting the country. Now, here's the sad thing according to this story. His wife was in tears, begging him not to go to Liberia after the incident. But he always say, you cannot come from, if you forget from where you come, you will forget where you're going. And you might not even know where you're going. And because of that, he decided he was going to go back to Liberia, even though his life was being threatened. Mr. So we have more. We have more.
And that was my questions. I'm going to be coming to Koto. That was the basis of my argument going to this conversation, which is also good. But there are some hidden facts and people need to know. But people on purpose, deliberately, they don't go out, they don't look for anything. And a little part that comes out, they grab with it because they are so much politically minded and they draw the conclusion, well, this person, I don't want to see about this person. I don't want to deal about this person here. Koto. And it will be interesting. We're going to wait and see here because that's a long-term story. And it's in the public. It's out there, except others don't know. Now, so that makes me to wonder, what were all of the things considered before sitting at this conference? You and I just smoke a peace pipe. We have a conversation. And you come back and you begin to reconnect some of the old things here. So what are you trying to say? What is the purpose of that? Then who is undercutting this peace, whatever conference, so-called peace conference? Because when you say it, I will have to respond. So it's all it reminding me about almost like CPP. What your group name again? Is that CPP? The Liberal?
Liberty Party.
Before the Liberty Party. It's like they're going to a conference.
I am not member of CPP. I am not member of CPP. I'm member of Liberty
That's
Party.
That's what I do. When you form part of a group, when the group is going in disarray, then you start to withdraw.
I was never a member of CPP. I've always member of Liberty Party USA.
Liberty
Until
Party.
They come out and expelled me like they did with the heroes of mine now. There's young heroes of mine in Tennessee. If Liberty Party USA will come and expel me, and then that we can see. Other than that, I'm still a member.
All right, so Koto, let's do you think these people honestly, we're just getting to know one portion of that. We don't know who's going to be the next Reginald Goodrich with whatever talking point are going to come again. So if you look at all of these things here, Was there any honesty on your part going to these conferences? Or, okay, let's do something so the Liberian people will do this. My argument here, everybody were going nuts. When this whole censor thing, when they said I was a provisional, everybody were going like a wild geese. Instead of telling your people who and to register, because that's prerequisite to your winning, whether you want to be president, whether you want to be a senator, whether you want to be a representative. Being a Liberian doesn't suggest that because you are a Liberian and you are above the age of 18, you're going to vote. You have to be a registered voter in order to vote. That wasn't happening. We didn't see that happening enough. All was just sort of red meat. The election would be this. Look at the figure coming from the southeast, looking at the figure coming from the northeast, and all of that. Here we are after the conference, literally a day or two, this sort of information coming out.
Yeah, Mr. To, that's just one person. It doesn't make, for me, that's not any big issue. Of course, you're going to hear individual statement. It's not a statement of a group. It's an individual making his, that statement. So I still don't find it dangerous. I still don't find it as affecting any other group that you may think that is affecting, because by his speaking doesn't mean he's speaking for an organization. They say that he's speaking on behalf of an organization, even though I haven't read it. I'm just hearing it, but I don't want to believe he's speaking on behalf of an institution or an organization. So for now, I won't give credit to his statement as a national threat. It's not a national threat. I guess he may have his personal relationship with we are. Like Mr. To mentioned, I know about even where he ran out of Liberia because of chancellor threat, or he at the time stating that he had an ambition. So of course anybody can have ambition. There have been time people will look at us like, for some of us who get on talk show, they get there and say, oh, that some of y'all won't be senator, some of y'all won't be representative, or people will come out with that speculation. But it doesn't necessarily mean what they speculate is true. But I think that's just his view, or that's his personal interest. So coming out as a group or various groups to have this meeting, I think is fruitful. If they abide by it, we're going to have a free and fair election. Of course, in election, there will be irregularities. There is no way you can rule out irregularities, but it might be minute where it will not affect the whole country.
Okay, guys, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Aha! But you're not done when you're so yes, oh, I will it. Put you up whatever association in America. I'm a rider. Can you give a substitution national put to best? National President Prosper Quincy Rule. Friday, 2. Come on, play your book. To the one who give our mama. I get you. On the same money, do the can't do the one and do. I get you. Come on, you. I get my name. What were you? To do me, I think it. Oh, yeah, come on, play your book. 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 Probably I get you. What you? I play whatever. When you want ya. So you say, now, Martina Bo. Tina Bewe, Yabo, Better, I won't play. I want the one go. And that's why you want your papa. Can my you not penny? Mamma boy, you get up at can my you not penny? Mamma boy, you get up at I never say what way. I will get to tell you at the other. I know you live.
Okay, it's going to be going down, and hopefully the LPR kink of Mark. When conversations are concluded, it's going to be a blast. We are hearing the crowns, the queen crown will be going. The presidency will be turned over peacefully. But let's see, conversations are in the making. Some more commercials and announcements to be heard. Guys, good evening. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let's look at this here. 185 days to go. Where are we? We have not heard anything, but I got a tweet where Edo Johnson, I wouldn't know how true, so we have not heard anything official from the NDR that I've not seen, but as usual, is carrying on his own tactics again. If the VP slot, perhaps, from what this tweet is being reported, then he's going to be going back home. He's going to be going back to the CDC, which of course is not a surprise to me. And that's where he fits. Yes, and I will say that we had a conversation. There was a reason to Prince Johnson inserted Senator Jeremiah Cohen into this political conversation. The tension was on him, and there was a way. Politicians are very calculative. They are very strategic. And, you know, Johnson is 2-in-1. Your politicians, on the other side, he are all military guys. So all of the guerrilla warfare, everything is in him. Before you think you're going to get under his throat, trust me, he's already on. What is the game is he playing here? Do you think all what we saw lately and the turnover and all of the speeches, that a little bit jazz were triggered? The president said, you want to go. We are fine. We are cool with it. So where do you think at this point in time? He's in the middle of the whole thing now. Where do you think he will really be? It's hard to determine his direction, his sense of direction, because he is just unpredictable. He says it today, but next day after the meaning of a clock, something new develops. Do we see him going back home to the CDC?
Well, Mr. Soe, I cannot sit here with a good face and try to predict what will happen or what Prince Johnson will do. But what I can say is this. If Prince Johnson feels like he's not getting the face of the leadership of the opposition, if the opposition is not acquiring him the kinds of space that he trying to get, if he cannot get the kinds of attention that he's craving for from the opposition, most likely he'll go back to CDC. But the funny thing is, if he go back to CDC, you'll be ready to get in the bike. He will not be in the front anymore. So Prince Johnson has put himself in a box as far as I'm concerned. Now, the issue of the opposition and, you know, you don't hear anything, what have you. I also am a concern, you know, not just the opposition, the president himself. I spent most of the day doing some serious research on this issue with the whatchamacallit. And I saw so many things that if I were a member of CDC with my big mouth, and don't get me wrong, CDC has some serious big mouth more than me, I know that. But they are not utilizing the space effectively. Some of the things that I saw today, some of the writing back in 1996, 95, 96, 97 about this president, they're still relevant today than they were back in those days. Things that people wrote about this president is still happening today. And these people are not taking this opportunity to do some serious research and bring these things up. The opposition, they're not even quite on board either. This is a same opposition that Eugene Fagon flock massively based on cartel, from drug cartel to political cartel. He flocked them based on that one description of Liberian politician. And they are not able to prepare themselves. You would think at this time they will have some sort of a slogan that would describe exactly what it is they want. They're yet to even come up with a name of a vice presidential candidate. We were told here a few months back by Cummings that this was a time that perhaps you're going to be able to give us who the vice president. He said it publicly. It has not happened. Ambassador Wakai been up and down on this thing everywhere, all over this place. Nothing has happened. You know, and so for me, I think don't get me wrong, CDC. I'm not saying it's not a party to join, even though I'm not quite on that route yet. But I think if these people are not careful, they're not going to have a good time during the election. And the sad thing is, Ambassador Baka, if he doesn't win this time around, he's not going to seek another term. He's not going to come back again after 6 years. He won't even be able to. He will be completely dejected. And Honorable Kumi, most likely, he told us here on LPR that if I don't do this, I don't see myself coming back and trying again. So this is a time for these two gentlemen to get together and decide exactly, because this is what the Liberian people want. If you put these two people on one ticket, President, we are in the CDC, they will be shaking their boots right now. But they have no regard, they have no respect, they have nothing for the opposition. In fact, Manu Kima the other day said they have leaderless, opposition are leaderless. They have no respect for the opposition because the opposition have not shown them anything that would demand their attention.
Do you agree with Moloba before I go to Koto?
No. No, they have leaders. They have political leaders. So I'm not going to make that kind of outlandish statement.
So why are you using his soundbite?
Well, I'm just telling you how disrespectful these people are to the opposition. They don't have respect for the opposition. The soundbite, I know it's not statement of facts. These people have leaders. But I'm making a point that in order for people on the other side to respect you, you have to show some kahunda, that you have some serious kahunda. And these people are not willing to do that.
Okay, let me come to Koto. Koto, it's a troubling up to this time with 180 some more days. We yet to see major opposition bloc ticket incomplete. Is that concerning? Is that something we should panic, worry, or be concerning to talk about? And well, we should just leave it with that. People say Democrats in 3 months time they go to the convention and they can elect whoever is going to be the running mate. Is that what we should bank on?
Actually, it's concerning, okay?
Can we use your number? Can we use my number is not connected. Can I pull your number out so that we'll
let me connect it quickly. Let me connect it quickly and you can do that.
Yeah, you can. Can you give a number too, and then you can just leave it on speaker. Hopefully, it will pick up from there as well. And then anybody calling.
Yeah, you can put my number. It'll come straight into the mixer. There's no question. Right? So go ahead.
The number, something. I don't keep
916
916
533
533
2048
2048. Or Koto, you said I should put yours there as well?
Yep.
Now what?
917
917
379
379
7688
7688. Okay, folks. Let me just try my, I don't know if it's where 682 433 8802. Okay. Okay, go ahead, Kato. Sorry.
Yes, I was just saying that it's concerning. I won't sit there and tell you that it is not actually concerning. But what I see is it is not an easy thing. It's like when you have a lot of good clothes to go out, and you have so many of you to go out to make a decision of picking one of those suits to put on is kind of difficult. I think that's where the opposition finding themselves. They are like all of them, most of them that I see, I actually qualified to serve as president, but then coming out to pick up one now to say, okay, be the leader has been a problem that all of them want to be at the same time. It's actually impossible for everybody to be. So for it, to say really, I really have been advocating that Waka go as president and Kumen goes as the VP. But this has not worked. But you know, and what they keep delaying is kind of like destroying them more and more. Because if you say you can't do what you're supposed to do, and then resources are going, and then you see frustration continue to increase. It's just for me, it's tearing down a lot of things than fixing things. Because and this is what when I say my ANC people don't like to listen to me when I say it, and you know we'll continue to say it. At least the record will be there that we said.
Can Boyka people listen to ANC people?
I said my people, my ANC people. I didn't say anybody there. That's my people. Yes. So I'm part of the ANC, so I can't exclude myself. But it's just that we need to accept that that's the reality. You know, when you say it, it's like, why is Kumen, if Kumen good enough to be vice president, why he can't be president? I understand. But in every case, we are all equal, but we are not equally equal. Okay, one person must be ahead of another person, and that's why we set level, we set benchmark that one person will be higher than another level. Okay, if it is tie, then we break the tie with something. That somebody breaks the tie. But I think right now they are not equally equal, and until they can accept that they are not equally equal, they will try to delay. And the more they delay, the more destruction continues to go on. And I hope they know what they're doing, but I see it fit that way. We might not be, some of the voices that they want to hear, but we have, boots on the ground that we can get some information too. And based on our information that we get, that's what I think will work better. Boyka and Kumen team will actually be a better team that can beat we are. Other than that, I don't see Kumen going alone and win, and Boyka going alone and win, but they both can win together. That's what for me. I think we can work on that. But they've been saying, and some of the things that we predicted have come to pass. I said it, the few people that we met together and talked behind the door, that if Kumen consistently push this thing, he might lost a lot of resources that he needed not to. And today we can see that 70,000 gone, and I know more than that have gone. And I think they should really sit and think. Many times they say, "Oh, it's not possible." But there's nothing.
If you're calling for the show, just hold on 1 minute, please. Mr. Soe will be with you.
No problem.
Okay, yeah, he's audible. You get a caller?
Yeah.
Okay. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, sister, good evening. Welcome.
Hey, Mr. Soe, good evening, and good evening to the panelists. This is Abraham calling from Oklahoma.
Okay, Abraham, good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, I just following the discussions concerning this the Farmington River declarations, signing, and the two major opposition political party selecting the running mate. I think I might disagree with my sister a little bit that these two major candidates does not have too many closing clauses. If you look at it, that's my view. And I believe is Mr. Comey is waiting for Boyka to pick among the two. If former Vice President Boyka picked Jeremiah today, the ANC people will start negotiating so that they can put the broken pieces together, which is young people side of the Liberal Party. They'll bring them on board. If you take the two people from there, from this Vice Presidential candidate, Nyombli and Jeremiah, who is there, Mr. Soe? Nobody. Except Terwell Gonglo, but I think where Terwell Gonglo is right now, He's not settling down for vice running mate. Gongo is looking in the future. He don't want to go because he has criticized everybody. He's doing the same thing, and he want to be the lone man standing up with his broom. You see, he wants to create that brand for himself for 2029 or for future political office and political activities. For former Vice President Bargai and Cummings, they don't have much to choose from. Nobody can choose Kofi Wu. Nobody can go to Lima Bowie. You'll be carrying a dead ticket. Nobody can go to even Clarence, my own brother. He's a very young man, educator. That's a current master in Moluba. You can't say. So the only two people that in this race that the two major political opposition political party can look after is Nyombli and Jeremiah Kum. The reason why Jeremiah Kum is ringing is because of the factor of the Prince Johnson factor. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. But it's a tight thing because for Barkai doesn't want to hurt anybody because Nyombli have been with Barkai throughout. So if Barkai leaving Nyombli to go to Jeremiah Kum, Barkai got to make sure that cool down Nyombli and her own people. Even today, if you look on that other show, callers were calling in favor of Nyombli to be the running mate. People are still running Nyombli campaign, Mr. So, to be the running mate to former Vice President Barkai. That's a problem that they're facing right now. And they don't want to let Jeremiah to go. That's just a problem that they're finding. So that's my take on it. Thank you for the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for always contributing. Good evening, welcome. As usual, we always like to pick a random list from our followers. There are some who don't like to call, but this is a long career journalist, J. Siaka Conant. This is what he's tweeting in a live feed this evening. In fairness and based on my observation, the CDC is most concerned and feel threatened by Ambassador Boyka. Cummings, Tiawanse, Gonglo, Mandela Cooper out of J.C.A. Conant political playbook. Sisse, good evening, welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, Koto, my deepest sympathy. The liberal, sorry, I was in class when you called and I just got done, so we'll connect behind the scene.
Thank you, sir.
Your star behind the scene? Yeah, your star, your friend?
Oh yeah, yeah. He coming to LPP. Look, I I can't respond to our viewers have the right to their comments. The caller talk about Tiawan Gonglo looking with an eye to 2029. He couldn't be more wrong. If you know anything about Tiawan, you will know that he doesn't do stuff for showmanship. He's not a showman kind of person. So he's running with this thing for this presidency with all of his might. He stands with the throne. He has never castigated any one person. So I got to push back on that call. He's always talked about the ills in society. Tiawan Gonglo has never gone low to call any political candidate name and try to criticize them. So I think that caller's comment was wrong. It's not based in anything factual. And sometimes we got to hold people accountable.
Mr. So, can I come in? I didn't say.
Yeah, hold on one second.
You said you criticize everybody.
Yeah. It's still entrance.
You said you criticize everybody because you're staying in his room, and that's not factual. That's not based.
No.
Okay, what did you say?
Okay, go ahead, Sissy. I will come back.
What did you say?
Okay.
What did you say?
You want to read?
I said, Sissy. I said, Gonglo will not settle to go out running me to anybody. I've been following the Brown Party that everyone.
No, you finish the statement. I'm begging you, Chief. Just finish the statement. You said Gonglo will now go with as VP to any candidate, and then you talk about he having criticized everybody and standing.
No, man. No.
You did talk about standing alone.
Gonglo since he joined the political. I come in, Sissy. Since Gonglo joined in the political arena, he had not called, he had not insulted anybody, even you on the show. All of his supporter. Even there's one guy supporting appear on the Judah Jazz show. They are discussing the issue like Gonglo himself. I will come here and say Gonglo insulting people. No, I'm saying the two major opposition political parties does not have too many clothes in the closet that our sister said. when you have too many clothes, you're choosing which one to choose. I said, no. The two major people that they can choose from is Jeremiah Kuhn or Nyobi Kaka Lauren. But for Tewon Gonglo, I don't think he will settle down going as a running mate to any of this candidate because he's looking in the future. He want to stay alone with his bro to have his ID, a identity. Right now in Liberia, when by the time you talk about Tewon Gonglo, somebody tells you, oh, the bro man. So he's trying to establish that brand for himself.
I agree with you, my brother. And I agree with you, my brother. The only place I had a little concern, and again, maybe I misheard, but the only place I had a little concern was in all of this thing you said was exactly what you said. But you said he wants to be standing with his broom because he's criticized everybody, and that's the point I'm saying. I didn't say you said he's insulted anybody.
No.
I didn't ascribe that to you because you never said that, and I didn't say Tijuana. I said about criticizing people, calling out people by their name. But if you didn't say that, that's fine. The bigger issue here is, look, for the life of me, I've never understood why people are still trying to get Joseph Boakai and Alexander Cummings together. Are you only looking for a ticket that wins, but that doesn't govern? Because these two people cannot coexist. They have shown us that. They have shown us that. The evidence is there in our faces. Are we so power hungry that we just want to beat George Weah, even if it is a dysfunctional team? That is a disservice to the Liberian people. And if Omer Boakai is sitting down and considering Alexander Cummings for VP, or Alexander Cummings is saying now considering Omer Boakai to run way, I'll say shame on the both of them. They don't deserve the Liberian people time to be elected. That is despicable. Alexander Cummings is running a campaign to be president of the Republic of Liberia. Omer Boakai is running a campaign to be president of the Republic of Liberia. They have both of them have shown the Liberian people that they have a different mindset on how to move Liberia forward, and they're like oil and water, they can't mix. Hence the reason the CPP broke apart. Hence the reason they were fingering document and not fingering document, and baby police and somebody with what in their heart. Everything. These two people cannot function together. Is the opposition, the major two political parties that signed this contract with the ruling party, are they telling us that they are so small-minded that they don't see other people outside of Cummings or outside of Boakai that they can call on to become a vice president? If they are that short-sighted, let them call me. I got a full list of people that are not wanting to be presidents that will be very good vice presidents for them. Shame on them.
Caller, just hold on. Mr. Soe will be with you quickly. Mr. Soe, we got a caller on the line.
Okay. All right. Okay, Samson, let's hear from your caller. Who's the caller and where you calling from? And then we'll go to Koto.
We can hear you.
Yeah, Mr. Soe. This is Mr. This is Christopher Lotte Tobasi.
Lotte Tobasi.
My uncle is that I'm gonna direct it towards Gurich. Reginald Gurich need to be quiet. When your hands are dirty, and then when you have a lot of, because Reginald Gurich got checker pass. For him to come here today and go to front page Africa and write such of I don't know whether these guys can get so excited, and then sometimes I use the word engaging intellectual masturbation. Maybe they enjoy themselves, because for somebody like Reginald Gurich to come here and start to point finger at President Weah, and talk about who killed who and who died in 19, all the stuff the guy talking about. If we start to talk, if the indigenous people start to speak out, if our brethren in the very political party, our brothers and sisters join us, can these guys win? Can Reginald Gurich and Alexander Cummings win an election in Liberia? If our brothers and sisters decide to come to their senses, and they think that when they go to the Wild Wild West, these guys will not cross carpet and look for their brethren.
Okay, make it hurry up.
They think that they're going to depend on our people to vote for them. People like Gurich and Alexander Cummings and Urich, and they want to go there. They want to get into this fight. They want us to fight this fight they're calling for. The Concord versus Native. Do they want to fight this fight? People like Reginald Guri.
So please ask Topasi again. Yeah, he said, "What can I take the point?"
You know, do they want to get in the gutter with? Do they want to fight the masses? And they think our brethren will fight, our sisters in the apartheid will fight with them? If push comes to shove, you don't think that the native people, the native children, people who mothers and fathers so wood, people who pay taxes while their children were in America here, going to fine schools, universities, they think our brothers and sisters will join in this fight and turn their bikes on President Weah?
In 30 seconds.
Don't forget, ask the man. He said, "What political watching?"
So Reginald Guri, I saw the writing journal when Mr. Totech, when he spoke on there, I went back to go study a little bit, and I saw it on Front Page Africa.
Okay. All right.
Reginald Guri he want us. I mean, thank you. That's what I called for. Thank you very much. I don't think they want to go there.
All right. Do you have a caller there, Koto? You can turn on speaker, then we'll hear it. Something, Mr. To, you got a caller?
The person hung up already, so hopefully they will call back.
Okay, I got a caller here. Caller, what's the name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Aaron Povey. I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Hey, Aaron, what's up? Go ahead.
Good evening, guys.
Go ahead, Aaron.
How you guys doing this evening? Well,
good. Thank you.
I want to make, I want to comment on two issues. The first one would be the Reginald Guri's one. I mean, you drove the man car in Monrovia, okay, all over the place. People saw it on the news. People saw it all over the place. So when the man tell you say you were driving a car, just the old man. I'm sorry about that. So is that something for you to go talk about people spoiling your name and stuff like that? So that statement that Reginald Guri made, I mean, I understand the reason why he made that statement, but it's all fact. We all saw that. I was in Monrovia at the time. We all saw it. The next thing I want to talk about is the opposition. Mr. Soe, says Scotto and Mr. Soe. The opposition are not ready. They're not ready. Okay? These people, election is right next door. And these people, they not running mate yet. But now they should have had their running mate. Their running mate be women. Is that how they want to run the country if they get the country? Wait in the last minute to make decision? The people are not serious. They are not serious with us. No. Thank you, guys.
Okay, another person is on the line. Okay.
All right, and then okay.
Hello.
Then we'll get to the conversation.
Hello, you're on the line. Your name and where you calling from?
This is Jake Volker, and I'm calling from Richmond, Wisconsin.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening. Welcome. Let's hear from you.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, I'm just going to give a view on the situation within the opposition, especially the CPP.
Let's hold on, caller, please.
Strongly that the whole situation with the CPP, we all have real interest in the CPP when we all help to elect Senator DeLong, and we started putting our resources and time and everything until it came up to the presidency thing. And I felt so disappointed in Omen Boakye. In our country, in my culture, I'm from Nimba County, and I'm from the Voka family. We are from the, a family that is more political. And so we got to know that elders are the one, culturally, elders are the one who would always bring people together. But Mr. Boakye have never demonstrated that kind of behavior at all in this whole political situation in Liberia. Okay, so what happened, I know that there was some understanding between him and the entire group from the beginning, but there was this undercurrent where he could not with 3 other people to go against commies. We was wrong. I don't think if someone who is an elder who spent 45 years, at the second highest level of government, I don't think they should be behaving like that. He comes to this country and allow people like Henry Costa, people like the other young man that will insult, and this old man would never say a word to rebuke them as long as it was in his interest. George Lovo. And that's how CPP disintegrated. And it happened right under his watch. How can a man who is like that, who doesn't even know how to control, has no control over 4 political parties? I have no regard that he's ever going to even regard or have leadership that would be different from George Weah. It's going to be the old version of George Weah, you know? So I'm very disappointed in him. He feels he really has the presidency on his side, and he's just deceiving himself. He just doesn't have that. He doesn't have the stamina. He doesn't have the leadership skill to keep 4 political parties together. And that's why I hurt some of us a whole lot. And then you want to go get Jeremiah Combs from Nimba County to think that he's going to win Nimba County. Let him sit there. I'm from Nimba County, and I know I visit Liberia very regularly. I'm going to be going to Liberia in May. And Mr. Boakye has not demonstrated leadership. There is no reason for anybody to even vote him into power to see become president. He's going to be the worst version of George Weah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, my brother.
Okay.
So we have I don't know if this is going to be a last caller, but we have a caller on the line here.
Yeah, just pick that one out so we'll get back.
Okay, caller, go ahead.
Sorry, just 9:30.
Thank you, Mr. Toad. This is Wilton Keller, one of your contributor here on the show. Thank you guys. So I heard the reason I called in is because I heard my brother Cisse, and earlier I heard Mr. Toad. And, he said some things that really touched me about President Weah. And just to put my weight behind what he said, a lot of people know what President Weah did way before he even thought about coming into the political race. A lot of people. But because of politics, they try to demonize this man. They try to make him look like he is the evil that Liberia has ever seen. Let me tell you something. When President Weah altered, when doing I think it was around April 6th, and Roosevelt Johnson and all that thing was going on, and they launched that attack. I think it was either April 6th or October. President Weah came out and said, nobody should take power by the barrel of the gun. You know what it did? That this very Yeke Koluba of the day are here, people who are found in their own mind were hailed as the hero. Yeke Koluba, along with some other guys from the NPFL, went to President Weah's house and put it on fire. There was another group of the same NPFL who were in love with President Weah, cut that fire off. At that time, he was a football player, Weah. Cut that fire off on his house on 9th Street. It's not they say. Yeke Koluba even admitted to that. Because they say he was melting in the Liberian politics, the war. He had no political ambition at that time. He was playing football. He was only talking about the killing in his country. The killing should stop. And his house was set on fire. And so many other things. The regional coordinator who were in Morovia. When we had a sport car he had. Yes, we saw it. A lot of things happen. But at the end of the day, the reason why you see CPP did not hold, or the opposition, they are not holding strong, with the exception of the new guys that coming around like Mr. Ogongolo and other people that coming around. The reason why the old folks are not hold, because they lie so bad. They never spoke the truth to Liberian people. They have never spoken the truth to Liberian people about our situation. Everything, they get personal with this president. We got issue in our country. Our issue, Darrell Dillon said it. It's not start where we are. Our issue will never end where we are. Our issue is a systemic issue. And all Liberians should put hands on deck to fix our problem in our country. President Weah, he does not have all of the answer to our Liberian problems. But we make it look like since 1847, President Weah came and damaged our country. Our country was on a silver platter, and he came and damaged it. And that's not true. That's why the president said all the things are spoiled, they spoil it. The thing that we the one trying to fix it. The thing that is spoiled. And that's the problem. When we're speaking on these things, we will call ourselves a sincere Liberian, patriotic Liberian, one change in our country. We should speak from a factual point of view.
Your tech started hitting a wrong title. I ain't count the show.
I can count the show. I just from work. It late for me to count the shows because it's almost 10 o'clock. I can count the show now. I just count.
Oh, you're not
count the show so I can talk it.
He ain't come on here. He ain't come on here. What do you want? He said the thing what I said. They ain't count the show.
Okay. All right. I don't know what between two.
All right. Thank you.
I can be the show.
Right.
I jump my papa Jenna. Labor, I salute you tonight.
Oh, look out.
How long after the show? How long, Johnson?
You salute him tonight? Then let me just ask the liberal because you guys don't do anything. Will you do something?
Excuse me?
You also mentioned that if he the boycott, the Cummins, if the people want them to come together, what in case they don't? What will you do?
Well, Mr. So, look, let's be honest here.
So, yeah, okay, on a serious note here. Is there any ultimate price in favor or against with this whole thing if it going? If it doesn't settle, which seems not to be the case. And I was just saying, I think we just want to have this conversation because there's no conversation. We hope that they as so-called main challenger, they could get a peg. So we'll begin to really see who that person, because our fear, our apprehension, we do not want to have a scenario for somebody, for another VP to come say that they were packed. So we need to know who these people, who they really want to bring. Let the Liberian people really discuss it. We don't need a ceremonial vice president. The vice president should be equipped as the president to conduct the day-to-day affairs. I know they're doing that, but come on, 185 days. Is there anybody really running a risk here at the end of the day? Are they aware?
Mr. So, look, for me, I think I'm one of those here on this platform from day one. I've been anxious and been pushing these two people to come together. But when Sister spoke tonight, I think they are waking certain thing in me, made me to realize that it's just pointless to have these two people to work together. Coming to us publicly when I cover him, the trust level for him and towards the ambassador, it's not there. You know, he said, I trust people, but when you take my trust away, when I take my trust away for me to let you have it again, it become very difficult. He told us. So I think at this time, let them just go their separate way. And when if for some reason they're gonna end up in whoever gonna end up in second round, whatever group they're gonna decide to say we want to support that, that's fine. But the only sad thing here is this. The sad thing is this. In as much as I don't support CDC, I also admire the president, and I respect and I love him. To be honest with you, as an individual, not as because I've always said this. He doesn't have the leadership ability, but he is loved by the entire country, even up to now. Now, the point then is, if he himself know these things, and Sister, that's one of the reasons why I was calling you today, because as I was doing some research, I've been on this thing at the house business for the last 4, 5, 6 hours today. So I've been doing serious research, and I saw a lot of writing way back to 1996, 95, 96 about this president. And these so-called sedition that call themselves big mouth people. They can't even do simple research. Thing that was written, I was just saying that here, thing that was written back in 1996, they're still valuable today as we speak, but they don't bring those things up. And if you go some of the picture, and I'm sorry to I'm not trying to deviate from the conversation, but some of the pictures of President Weah when he was playing football, any defender, you'll be terrorized. So one picture I looked, the way, and I play football, the way he had the ball and the movement, if you was a defender, you'll be afraid.
What,
so
you were a defender?
Excuse me?
You were a defender?
I used to be a defender, then I become a forward. I play both legs, so I'm everywhere. But anyway, forget about that. No, but on a very serious note. Excuse me?
I think you were playing for total 11.
That badminton type game there when you kick the ball, go over the pole to the
end. Seriously, if I have not traveled to the United States in 1980, I think I would have made a very serious game towards Barrow, because I was really inching my way to get there. I was playing some serious ball in Monrovia. But anyway, that's besides the point. The point here is this: if this sedition, if they can go back and bring some of these things up, this opposition stand no chance. So I agree with Cesar. Let's just let them come out. Whoever gonna win, that's fine. But I'm gonna do a show Monday. And since the reason I was calling you, I'm going to share with you and share with all of you guys later on some of the research that when I was doing my research, some of the things that I came across. If you go, there are some Liberian newspaper no longer in existing, but there was some interesting writing that people did while they're here in the United States. Serious writing that have some serious implication for this election.
Let's return to baseline.
Let me finish. Patrick Kumi, please let me finish if you don't mind. Please, Wilbur Stubblefield, if you don't mind, let me finish my thought here, please. So the point now, on a very serious note, I think these people, Mr. So, if they are not willing to give us what we want, let them go their separate way and let us accept it. And if Dr. Weah wins, some of us will go and beg for a job.
That's not what you told me.
Well, I'm not ready to tell you why I told you. Don't worry about it.
I will play.
Why would you play it? That's a secret.
No, we don't have secret on LPR.
It was not announced on LPR. It was announced in a secret. I mean, behind closed door. Why you want to bring it up?
Just tell me, say, man can't talk all.
Man can't talk all. Man can't talk.
It's like you and your son. Look, on a serious note, Sese, let me bring you in here. Your guy, what is he thinking about? What is happening with him on his own belt now as well? Was he part of that conference, by the way? Did he attend that the Farmington Solidarity or whatever conference? Was Councillor Gonglo part of that conference?
I gotta check. I think Councillor Gonglo will be a part of anything meaningful in Liberian people's interest. So even if they had it at Farmington or they had it at Mano River, he will go. But on a serious note, before I address the issue of Councillor Gonglo, I think it puzzles me when ANC folks try to lay the demise of the CPP squarely at the feet of Omer Boakai. Don't forget, Nimba Kante, Tai Wongbe, Idef Gonglo were. When there was supposed to be one candidate from the CPP, Alexander Cummings was the chair of the CPP then. Tai Wongbe was from ANC. It took him forever to make a decision to tell Tai Wongbe to stand down. Tai had already spent way too much money before he went to Tai Wongbe. He could not even convince his partisan to withdraw from the race. Then Tai Wongbe run as an independent. Wasn't that where the CPP lost the senatorial race in Nimba Kante? So why are they laying this thing just at the feet of Boakai alone? This is very, it is unfortunate. It is very unfortunate when people do that. Again, you got mature men go in a collaboration and you're expecting somebody else to be your part. to say, can I go sit on this? I am a picking. Sometimes we talk this thing, and when you say those things about your candidate, make it look like he's not ready for prime time. So when people break apart, and that's the reason I got a problem, these people look like a girlfriend and boyfriend that broke up and they stay bitter over it. And the other person tell him, bring my tea, bro, why I left to your heart. You better bring the other thing. That why the two people on, and we don't have time for that. Liberia has bigger things to solve than these two people over their breakup. Now back to Councillor Gonglo issue on a serious note. Gonglo, why it is true that we know that peace is existential to Liberia. Gonglo is out there in the hinterland, reaching out to people who have been ignored by our system, who have been disenfranchised, who have been sitting on the fences, who have been made invisible by the system. So he was out in I think he's been out last time. I think he was in Riverses. He had been in Grand Cru, in River G. He was in Totown the other day. Actually spent a night in Totown the other day. So why are these people doing that? Going to Farmington River, saying that they're eating fish and getting other people to bring them together where they got to make peace talk. He's out there talking to the Liberian people about the things that matter and asking these people to make sure that they get registered to vote. Why it is true that there are bigger issues to deal with regarding the census, we understand that you can still register and vote while we still deal with the issues of census. We are not asking people to boycott elections. We are not asking people to boycott registration. We know that we can deal with every hiccup in the system through the legal means. And so to sit here and tell people, oh, don't go register because, the census is provisional. Yeah, we need a census in order to make budgetary allotment, to make developmental agenda come through, to decide how we split up the national pie. But we also need people to register to vote. Right. It is a good thing to know how many people live within our territorial confines, but it's also good to get people who are eligible to vote to go and cast their ballot to give you the power of attorney over their lives for the next 6 years. And so when you ask the question about Councillor Gonglo, where he stands, Councillor Gonglo has always stood where he's at. Up to the time he was freeing people like Malwa Malu from jail, when he was getting other people from prisons and stuff, when he was beaten by child children and had to flee the country and went back to the country because he felt that in the cause of the people, the struggle must end. He's in the countryside reaching out to people. He's not sending surrogates to go and get people to come to the town where the car can stop. Then the people walk from the villages and come and meet him. No, he's going to those places where cars don't go. He's walking over those log bridges and going to the people and talking to them about why this is so important, why their vote counts so much, that they should not just sell their vote for 9 copper rush or for 6 copper rush or for $6 US, and they're going to suffer for 6 years. And the decisions that get made by government outlast the 6 years term. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government made decisions that George Weah is still dealing with in his presidency. So we're out there talking to people. The Gonglo is out there talking to people about the way forward. And he's carrying the broom revolution everywhere. Making their brooms, people coming out with their brooms, and we're making sure to try to shoot them.
Yeah.
So while other people are Farmington River eating a roasted fish, I hold a boy in some of their throat. Let them keep doing their boyfriend and girlfriend break up thing. We have to celebrate people thing.
Do you want somebody Soviet girls to somebody? What are you talking about?
You roasted fish like bro here before. When you not true the railway paper be on it, then somebody go talk something, you laugh. They choke you. Me, I just saying when that happened.
The part of country where I'm from called Blown Town. Go fish bone can catch off. Fish bone can catch us.
But okay, this thing here, and that's my own personal view. And I know the Liberal are going to scramble over here. Of course, he doesn't let anything go back. Now, they are asking, other folks are asking for extension. Do we need to know, as far as we are concerned, update of the registration now? Is anybody asking that question? Can NEC provide that? This is where we are now, maybe in the first, because I think it's going, stages from this place to that place, or I think like a zone, whatever. It's important for us to know where we are now with the number of registrants so far, so that we know how it looks like, or are we waiting to see? But I think it looked like, and that's my view, that's my opinion, anybody can slam me, whatever it is.
Okay, definitely. I'm waiting for you to finish.
Wow. I think the opposition, if I say opposition or some members of the opposition, but because I don't want to get on a CC settle because he waiting now to see where I'm gonna go to. I don't think they did their, some of them, they didn't do their people, supporters or follower good. In terms of they got themselves confused, like I remember what he was talking about, they got themselves confused with this whole sense of provisional stages or stage, and then the voter to registration. Because prerequisite to this whole thing here, the only way when you are represented, you need a good significant number of your supporter to register in your constituent. President, you want to know where you're based, in the past elections and all of that, where you fell short and all of that. I don't think they were that aggressive in telling their people, because some of their talking heads were they were focusing on the censor part with these provisional numbers that were coming in as number. Like from time to time, we were talking here, our own county, Grangida, people felt that it was inflicted. I think there was a significant distraction kicks in that entering. Look at Grangida the last time, look at the number now. Oh, okay, that's the president's stronghold. So I see that to be a huge distraction. And people, some of their supporters were saying the election will be rigged. They did that because they want to do this. That took away key aspect of encouraging their people to go all out there when it requires for them to stay in line all day to register, because you want to know where maybe your strength going to be here. That was huge. And CDC, I can tell you, while they were chanting, dancing, sawo, I saw the chairman, they were going other places. On Gonglo, he was moving other areas, but CDC, they had their people going. Or if you talk to people in Sano, you talk to people other places, they positioned themselves strategically. But other groups were focusing on maybe the legal aspect of it because they want to challenge it. Now, here we are. I don't think the NEC wants to carry on any extension. Who is caught between the lines here?
Mr. Soe, look, let me just give it to you as I feel and think.
Go right ahead.
Excuse me.
I said, go right ahead.
I'll just give it to you. I'm not going to go after you.
I think it's quarter time to speak. Can you hold your peace?
Mr. Soe, that's not how it works here. You can't take, because what are you trying to pull here? Don't bring the Tennessee stuff on this platform. We're not going to allow you try to see if you can do one of those Tennessee stuff here. Please, the liberal is on the floor. She knows that, but she's coming. But no, on a very serious note, Mr. Soe, I think, and I will be ridiculous, and I'm very good at that. I think these two people, the Waka and the Kumi, need to get out. Let Gonglo take this thing here to President Weah. Gonglo has been all over this place. He forget about going to Tota alone, but he had gotten stuck on a highway. When was the last time you saw Ambassador Weah going to Lofa County alone in the mud? When was the last time you saw Honorable Cummings going all over this place in the rainy season? They're campaigning for Monrovia. Let them do their campaign in Monrovia and see if Monrovia will elect them. They're not even going to do in the entire Moserado. They're doing Monrovia. This is ridiculous at this time. You don't have time. The main thing they're concentrating on, right, instead of going to the voters, they're trying to please themselves. Who's going to bring in the vice president? When you're going to elect vice president? Is that what we got? Oh, after you you bring the vice president in, then the vice president would now go out to not running campaign, but to show themselves. These people are taking advantage of the fact that they've been so long, it's been so much a long time in the Liberian political arena. They're taking advantage of that. They have not gone out to the people to explain to the people. This is 2023, and these are the things that we're planning to do to help you get rolled in Grangida County. You talk to Dr. Ambassador Baga, is a roll, but how are you going to put it there? We ain't see it yet. Let them get out of the way. Let Gonglo go in.
Let them decide what they want to do. They're fighting. Let them go one side and tell their supporters to rally around Gonglo, and let's see if Gonglo going to challenge President We Are alone. Don't be the distractor. They are distracting the whole process right now, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm getting message now from Unity Party folks. You lose your job already. One boy can't wait. Forget it. You're not getting that public. You're not going to a public way again.
I don't know. I think Liberal is more Capric than I am. I would a Capricorn. Before you think he Capricorn like.
So, Koto, I want you to speak to this here. Another company insisted we pick up from A. I don't know these people. How many hands are they lifting up as well, contesting for a rep, for Senate? Because that will also enhance their messages in those various places. I don't know how. I don't know who their people, their aspirants, their candidate. Are they just doing it by themselves, or with the help of the guy on top of the ticket going around? Say you have like an aspirant in Bond County, in Lofa County. As long as you show up with that individual, you create a footprint there. Because when you even leave, that person, his or her household or family, they're keeping their finger crossed, because at the end of the day, when he or she is elected, something will be put on the table. But it looks like they are crying their own cry. Let me bring you in here.
Want me to go down?
Mm.
All right, thank you, Mr. Soe. You see what, for me, I don't like to say for some of us, but I speak for myself. The reason why sometimes, like, I take my time to kind of discuss politics is not because of myself. It's because of the family we have, the friends that we have, and, other people that we have in our country. Because, like, for example, I put myself in a case where I lost my brother today. It's not because of any, political gain. Is because of certain things, certain system is not put in place. If it can be whoever want to be president, if they can be president and the system is put in place, I won't mind. But some of us take our time today to talk is because we want system put in place that we all can benefit of. Not me benefiting of, and then the other people not benefiting of. But the decision that people make, they only make the decision because they're making the decision that I personally should benefit of. Okay, but I come here to say we should put that notion away. We all love where we are. I personally love we are, and I can say that. But we're looking at what his ability is to govern a country. We look for the past 5 years. If we have been there and doing the right thing, I get no quarrel with him. But see, for the 5 years, okay, if Ellen came in power, what she put in place, if they have continued from there or even built upon what was there, we would not have been at the stage today that we're complaining. So it's the matter of who we can trust to serve our country that will put system in place that we all can benefit. Not a Jala family benefiting, not a Sese benefit or Mr. Tope family benefiting, but it's the benefit of all. So I'm just telling all of the political parties here that they should put their personal ambition aside and look at the responsibility ahead to better up our country. Because putting your personal interests ahead of the people's interest is only like leading us again to another path that we are already in and thinking of getting off it. And it is true that some political parties right now are just sitting back and waiting. Why wait? Okay, it is true that even in the election period right now, we're talking about voter registration. We saw the other time, I was saying they could both be done concomitantly. Be pursuing for the result of the censor and at the same time registering. But I think the next should put a system in place that whoever did not register, they are not going to register. Let something be done about it. Because people just sit behind and wait, or last minute of time, they will extend the time. They will extend the time. And that's not what we're supposed to be doing. If you said that the time passed, that the time passed. Whoever win, let them win. If you want your best interest, you should be going out there registering. And if it was the case that the NEC did not meet up with its registration term, that old lands were being left without registering until the day ends and they have to push the people by, then of course we'll extend the term, because that was like a conditional system that, you know, they couldn't meet up with the demand. But that's not the case. The people work in term, nobody in line, then they leave. Why should they extend term? So for me, I see no reason to extend the time. If you didn't register, I mean, you did not have the interest for your country. There should not be extending time for people to go and register.
I need to even favor it. They sat down there and they allow people to kind of like stuff for that. Okay, what's on Keto? Good evening, welcome. Oh, you said no, better late than never. Even the next 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes will be going. That's okay, but I know you got your part already. Sissy.
Yeah, I had to bring the country there was so yeah. I waiting for Jay to find only something case he can count on. But look, one thing that is, I think that's getting to me, and I heard people have been saying a lot of stuff here, is last night we looked at, in fact, first let me answer your question. NEC issue a press release that they're not extending any registration dates.
Right.
So that press release is on their website. Now, the issue that I really want to delve into, to caution us Liberians when we come on these platforms or when we call on these platforms to talk about the politics and the way forward. There is no Liberian, whether LPP partisan, Unity partisan, Seditian, or Liberty partisan, or no partisan, there is no Liberian that gets up and say, I want to find a way to damage this country. I want to run for office, and I want to support somebody running for office that I know will damage this country. We all have a fundamental disagreement in the way to move the country forward. Every political party, every candidate running for office, whether major or minor, has a mindset of moving the country forward. We disagree on the method and on the process and on the road to take to go forward. And I think if we keep that in mind in the discussions that we have, we can be, Keto and myself go back and forth a lot of the time. Him and I disagree on who we think should lead Liberia in 2023. But I don't have to be disrespectful to him or to the president. George Manawia is somebody that I respect, that I love. I always say every time I ran behind him in limousine when he came to Liberia with a golden ball, I would still pay money to watch him play. He is an icon and he is a cherished national treasure. I just disagree on the politics and the way forward. And the one point I wanted to make here, though, is that in President Weah's speech at the Farmington Hotel yesterday, the Liberal and I went through there, but I'm just going to look at one sentence. Rhetoric that whips out all divisions and puts tribes and regions against one another must be discouraged. We as political leaders must have a duty and responsibility to prevail on all of the members within the ranks of our various institutions to desist from actions that could lead to violence. All of us. And so when I hear people come on a network or on other platforms, the way forward in our political process is to disagree with folks, sell your candidates, but you cannot, like what's happening right now with Reginald Gurich stuff. People are coming out still whipping this whole Congo versus Native thing, and even Lofa County versus this people thing, or the Southeastern region is where George Weah is from, so it's the Southeast versus this people thing. No. There are people in the Southeast that don't support George Weah. There are people in Lofa County that don't support Joseph Boakai. And so we have to be mindful of that when we group people and just try to put them in the bucket of deplorables, like Mr. Soe like to say. And for me, that's the one thing I think I'm going to keep pushing on this platform is I can talk about my guy, Tiawan Gonglo. I can talk about his vision and his mission for the way forward for Liberia without disrespecting Dr. Weah, without disrespecting former Vice President Boakai, without disrespecting Alexander B. Cummings, or trying to minimize what they have achieved just because I want my guy to be president. I am not that desperate for the presidency. And I don't think my guy is either.
Okay, Wharton Curtor from the Constitution State of Connecticut, a pro-GOL supporter. Wharton, good evening.
Good evening, brother. So, and let me officially welcome the Liberal back, because since he came back, I have not been on set with him.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah.
Your side, your support side, are you guys much comfortable, happy with what's going on so far? Registration, energy.
Brother, so I said the thing from day one. CDC is never complacent. It's not a party that will just sit and say everything is going well for us. CDC always try to make sure that they explore all avenue, mobilizing the base, making sure that the process works for all Liberians. I think, and that's where CDC is, and they continue to move on that direction positively. But I'm so impressed today. I listening to my brother Sise, and give his point. I listened to, on a very serious note from my heart, I listened to Mr. Soe and gave his view. I think it's important that the rest of us, people who live abroad back home that appear on these networks that a lot of people listen to be much more, considerate of our country, knowing the history of where we came from, and also speak in ways that will talk about the issue. Look, one serious politician, he was a politician of my time that I know, that I respect in this United States. He is a Mr. John McClain. I think you guys know that famous line he gave during the debate the debate when the lady said something about Obama, and he told the lady, he said, no. He told the lady, he said, that man is a decent man. He's a family man. The only thing that we have we differ about is policy. If we come to this debate with policy issues, I'm not coming to the debate to tell somebody that Kumi is on the left side or on the right side. I'm not coming to the debate to tell somebody that Bishop Boakai is a dead man walking. No, that's not the story. I'm coming to tell people what Joseph Boakai did in 12 years, that he does not deserve being there for the next, for a 6-year term. That's what I'm going to talk about. Let us present our issues to the country or to the people in ways they will understand it. We should avoid deception, hypocrisy, and manipulation. I think, let's be fair, because at the end of the day, whoever runs Liberia or rule that country will have a greater impact on us. And I listened to my sister Koto, and she said something about where Ellen Johnson said he left the country. If President Weah had continued from there, the country, she would have no problem but to be. So more of less saying she was going to be on his side. President Weah did not deviate from the progress Ellen Johnson said he made. As a matter of fact, he even did more. Koto. That's the thing. Look at the LACC.
Don't look now, but you're campaigning heavily on LPR, and I think that Mr. Soe should have you pay some money.
Mr. Soe, can you tell the Liberal that I'm a contributor on this show?
Yeah, do more.
He doesn't understand.
Okay. Go ahead.
I can see he's doing more on the depth. Go ahead.
Am I protected yet?
No protection for you. Don't get away from you.
Don't worry about you on your own, Mazon. All right. I cannot make a point. We already over the time. Anyway.
Yeah. No, on a serious note, and let me borrow his word on a very serious note. So this is the thing. The president, this government has made tremendous improvement on what Ellen Johnson Sirleaf left. Look at the roads connectivity, the Banga Malakuma Highway. Look at the LSCC. He even strengthened the LSCC to the extent giving them prosecutorial power. That look at the light that come from that came from Ivory Coast to Liberia. He worked on those things. Look at the students when they were failing in their droves at the University of Liberia. What he did, he look. We can go on and explain, but the problem is people do not want to hear these things. They want for us to continue to say, yes, we agree with you that he failed. He didn't fail.
What happened at the LU? What did he do to change the feeling?
Okay, no. So there were 2,500 students that took the LU entrance in Ellington last term, and all of them failed. All of them failed. And she herself came out and admitted that the educational system in Liberia was a mess. She admitted that. President Wiakim, what he did, he elevated the conversation of education in Liberia by first of all digitizing the University of Liberia registration. You can stay anywhere in the world and get your registration done. You can stay anywhere in the world and do your courses, process the amount of courses you want to do at the university. He made that common because people were standing on the line. Two, students that were failing, that had just come from high school, that were failing the university entrance. What he did, he helped them to go through wire process. We're all paying money by paying the school fee. Also, the study class. Hold on, by empowering. By even increasing teachers' salary.
There's no connection.
What I gotta do it?
I have not seen any connection yet, my brother.
Is there a poor restaurant online so they can feel
No. I'm not saying the students that failed, they came from the high school and they took the entrance and failed. They failed. So he changed the whole thing.
Let me tell you, that digital thing you're talking about, our early one digital system started.
What time you were in LU?
Over the time.
What time you were in
LU?
What time?
I'm talking about 2001. 2000. I was doing my master. I was doing my master. They were when they started, digital system started.
They were registering.
I was there.
Even if she said Benny here, they were doing registration with that.
Don't put me in your thing.
I was there 2001. You want to argue with me?
Okay.
What? Yes.
So, Ketra.
So you don't know. It started.
Are you sure you're gonna get a stay with
They just improving over the time.
They still want to me on the bus already.
I can't record.
You want to talk that you don't say yeah, you want to all say as a stay with you? Please, you know your own.
Don't even go there.
Okay.
When you left for Liberia, that you coming to discussing that we know that I know that you coming to teach
before we
me.
leave, guys. This is sort of troubling because these people, we're not even getting their agenda. Who they are, what really they're going to do. We're not discussing these things then because their story is incomplete. We don't know where to get it. The roles.
Yes, Mr. Tu. I agree that these people are not used.
Where is this rehabilitation process start? Where are we? How many persons been rehabilitated?
You mean where is that the one that Dillon is starting, or the government should be starting?
I don't believe in these political self initiatives.
So that's the thing we're talking.
What I'm saying, I'm talking about these candidates. I'm talking about the reason I'm asking. I'm talking about. The reason I'm talking about all of these presidential hopeful. By this time, advocacy groups, civil society, when we have this thing, they should be talking. Some sort of debate should be arranged now to hear these candidates. Whoever want to attend, fine. Who doesn't want to attend, then we know where to put them. But to start hearing some really concrete thoughts about their own visions and agenda of the country. But it's not because they are creating this situation that compels us not to talk about them because there's nowhere to be found. And at the end of the day, by the time we go look, something going to be shut down or thrown again.
Mr. So, just real quick, if you want to learn about the Liberian People's Party or what Tiawan Gonglo stands, It's www.liberianpeoplesparty.org. Go there. It's there. We're not hiding it.
Okay. Sounds
no website. It's not like the ANC that's in Cummins' name. This one's in the party name. It's not tewangonglo.com like ArizanaCummins.com. This is LiberianPeoplesParty.org.
Amon Joy knew that why he didn't show all here
Why you
tonight.
throwing jobs like Amon George when you're not here?
And the same way I mean you come for in hiding that I throw my own those who can.
Well, let me, Mr. So, thank you very much for the beautiful show tonight.
Go ahead.
All that I can say is that tune in Monday. It's going to be a very interesting and fiery show Monday afternoon. Because I'm going to go deeper than just this Jonathan Guri stuff here. I'm going to go more than that. And I think the reason here is not so much of me trying to excuse the president and what have you. No, far from it. But you cannot be something that they are living Liberians that are witness to these kinds of things. And you're going to come, not only are you trying to dispute it, but you are very much disrespectful, insulting on something that there's lots of evidence. We need to go deeper than that. So I will do it Monday. I will do the reading. I will do the article or articles, and I will also do his writing. I will read it, and then we'll go from there. But other than that, Mr. So, I think as far as this opposition is concerned, I pray and hope that they will see the light and try to find reason to actually find themselves, because they're lost right now. They're nowhere to be found. And I want to thank all the panelists for their participation here tonight. And I want to thank you very much. It's my birthday still, even though my birthday over almost a week ago, but it's still my birthday. So I thought I'd throw it out there.
So what gift you giving to Anna on your birthday?
Ask what you gave?
But the other CEO for the other network used to give many give cash out there for things.
Where is he now?
Happy belated birthday, Mr. Toll.
Sissy, please. Oh my.
When was your birthday, Mr. So? I mean,
wow.
That was up about a week ago.
I had mine on the 27th.
Oh boy.
Sissy, when I hear you.
Keto, you want back me or asking for only cash out, my man? Oh.
You what you say you want to do a cash app?
I said the other people there, they managed to get cash app. The liberal guy birthday was looking for cash app. He wants to say I want it.
I have not been elevated to that position yet.
That one between you and
the people that used to eat with their hand, they used to get cash app to them.
and that's why
why you calling me in? I want to.
Let me say this again. Those people that went over there and created their own show, call it panel engagement, or whatever they call it, they will not win. They will not be blessed, because the man used to feed them, used to get them money. They can't abandon him and then go final argument. They're not going to be successful.
Also, throw a little bit. He will to take it.
No, but brother. So on a serious note, right? Let me appreciate Mr. Toe. I've been following him for long before I start participating in the show, when he used to talk about the role, and then how I knew that look, Liberians got brilliant people. The way he described the role, how to design role and the process and all that kind of. And then he went on the politics side. I would comment every now and then. But you know, since my old man came back from Liberia, it's like, I mean, his politics has become even more refined. You know, it's like he fine-tuned the politics to the extent where
the man under the sycamore tree.
You know what Fagon say? Kato, he get proof. So they make one kato for over there. There's no receipt for it. No kato.
The man talking here tonight. The party when they not do they if you play me, I play a recording journal before go. You better send me
that child recording is
I get it, but he get it. I get it too. But you get it, cassette. So I get the advantage to play it.
Send me that link Monday so I can come on the show. I don't know what time you come, but send me the link. I'll probably come on the show.
All right. What's that about?
Guys, thank you so much. It's JC Akakonent. I would really like us to have a conversation. I know I sent you an inbox before. Maybe I gotta reinforce it. Yeah, because I mean, the people, they are creating a situation where we can't really. It makes it very difficult. It makes it very difficult.
Makoto.
Yep.
Don't you go?
No.
Okay, well, I'll connect with you in the background regarding that.
Yeah.
And doing what?
Asking you if they did a burial already.
No, the jail had a family emergency meeting today, and the body, they came up with a preliminary I say budget for now is what we're working on to see how we can kind of cut down some costs, because
the Liberal has changed since his return from Liberia. You know, that tree there. You been under that tree, right?
I was there at
I've
2000.
been there. That tree never worked on me. I'm telling you, I was running as representative.
But the tree,
They told me
right now, the tree look.
I will win, and I will have won.
The tree look malnourished right now. It's hungry.
I stayed. They didn't run on CDC tickets, so they didn't catch.
Because they didn't get up. They didn't get up the palm fruit to eat. You know the palm. Kettle they eat the palm touch them. So kettle they get the palm touch.
All right, guys. Have a pleasant evening. We'll be using the grace of God in the coming weeks. Thank you so much. All right.
What a nice thing you, my man. Been a while. I made you count on, but nice.
I know. I wanted to come out so bad. It's sure interesting. I'm like, I gotta come out there where you keep.
I said that way. I would throw my whole journey. I would catch somebody. By the time I go low, man, I send something in the group chat. Send me the link. I say, oh, you are something to you guys. All
right. Sorry, Kata. The 2001. I was making a mistake. Was 2006. I was talking about. I'm mistaken. They said 2001. So it was 2000. I just want to make that correction. 2006. Yeah, thank you. It was 2006 they started the process of that electronic registration.
Good night, folks.
All right, guys.
Good night. Good night.
All right. Bye-bye, guys. Okay, well, Madam Balayan, thank you so much for your commitment to this network. Well, folks, every good thing must come to an end. I'm Alphonso Zean Soe of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. By the way, there'll be a lot of coming weekend. In fact, before we go, one of the best book, Liberty Hijack. LPR can now say they've been confirmed by our sister network and author that Liberty Hijack will be launched in Juazon, Sino County. The chief launcher is Chief Dr. Joel Howard Taylor, the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, the author Kai Jarawale. It's a former Minister of Government based currently in the USA, is the author of the book Liberty Hijack. Liberty Hijack is still available on Amazon, so you can get that. All of these things that we are talking about here, the politicians, lack of leadership, their inability to make decisive decisions, to take political calculations, or if you read Liberty Hijack, you will really, really know the in-depth and where these people come from. We are keeping track. And we have been told, I believe, this book, they have been granted what? Should I look at my message here? It will be to be in the library in this state. It's been satisfied after, I think, 2-3 weeks revision. So it meets the standard. WIAC, Authority of Ministry of Education, so we are hearing, considering all will be used for WIAC because of the information embedded into this book here. It's very, very amazing. So a lot is unfolding. Let me just welcome, better late than never, President Augustine Menye of the Grand United Association, former president, joining us here. And in Des Moines, Iowa, the crown will be turned over, will be going away. Queen Victoria, the crown will be going. 3 beautiful ladies are contesting for the Putu Apolia Bowl. Conduct Salif is contesting for the Queen. So we have Charlotte is also contesting, and Queen Helena Cole. One of it 3 will be taking Queen Victoria crown away. All going to be in falling in Des Moines. The president also will be taking leave. The president will also be taking leave. He will also be taking leave. So that will be a colorful ceremony. And by the way, they are tapping into the expertise of the Liberia Public Radio to bring you live, and also to moderate this event. So Des Moines, Iowa, get ready. We're going to be at a really, really, really beautiful town there. So just get ready for us. We'll be there. As soon as those conversations are concluded, we will get ready to go.
Secretary.
That's a little piece of that. You're going to see it, and we're going to bring you more images, messages of hope, peace from the leadership as we receive them, and we're going to be having that yet. Until then, I'm Alphonso Zean Soe of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Thank you for sharing your evening with us here. Watch out. Liberty Hijack again will be launched officially in Juazon, Sando County, Republic of Liberia. The chief launcher, Chief Dr. Joy Howard Taylor, the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. The Sanquem Board, this now is the Sanquem man, a former Minister of Government, Kai Gerald. This book has been certified by authorities at the Ministry of Education, Republic of Liberia. And we are hearing it will be official to be used by WIAC because of the information contained will be used here. It's been certified to be on the shelf here in the U.S., Washington, D.C. After 3 weeks of revision, meets all of the criteria, no duplication, no plagiarism, nothing. So it's been certified. So it meets the standard. That's why the Vice President, hands-on, is taking. We say congratulations to Minister Kai Gerald. He's my own former boss. We're going to be having a lengthy conversations about this book. It's quite interesting. A lot of authors been writing book. It's been published here. It's been launched here. But he did it differently. It was launched by authorities at the Ministry of Education. The presence of this book was felt recently in Ganta. Now, the Vice President is taking the bull by the horn and is going in his own areas, taking this book, taking his ideas, his vision to his motherland. Can we still call him a Sanquem boy? He's a Sanquem man. The Sanquem man has stepped out and telling the story, the narrative. This book is still available on Amazon. Get this book and you will know how this political leader business came about, the 1955 election. It's just $20. If you want to make a goodwill donation, that's fine. You can contact me here as well. It's available on Amazon. Until then, I am Alphonso Zean Soe of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Every good thing must come to an end. I want to thank all of you, our viewers, listeners, and followers. If this is the first time, we say thank you so much for sharing with us. If you have your business entity, if you want your program to be perfect, good, someone who can handle the microphone, let us know. If you have the business is in Liberia is here, we have the ability to advertise it. If you are a member and you are celebrating maybe your birthday is okay. I know Facebook serves people reminder, but there's a way that we should give back to our committed folks as well. Let us know. We can create a type banner to right here and just our own way of saying thank you for being a good committed member to this network. We want to celebrate you as our supporters, as our follower. We will ask you at some point in time for help, but at this time, we intend not to. We must make the progress. We must reach somewhere and then ask you. Not that we don't have cash, not that we don't have Zelle, but we don't just want to be putting it out there. We don't want to take advantage of the goodwill of Liberians, good hands of giving. We want to have a justifiable reason when we are asking you. And that we are not on a writing cause of our folks in Liberia, but we want to make a progress. We want to be concrete and show something to you at some point in time. So we'll do it. We'll manage it. Create myself for manage. We want to thank you so much for your time, for your commitment to this network. No matter how it is, we'll continue to do what we are doing. 183 more days to go. Opposition, no vice president, unable to make a pick. It's a concern. They got distracted in the interim with the censor and encouraging their supporters to go vote. Now they are asking for extension. Hell no, no extension. It is what it is. Those who don't, if you don't register, everybody can vote in the country. Plain and simple. They gave the time, you go and register. If you don't register, that's it. We've got to start the country somewhere. The conspiracy, the falsehood, the mischief, the innuendos, the subliminal messages by their talking heads. And only crying election will be right when there's no evidence, there's no statistics, there's nothing to show that election was rigged in the past and it will be rigged at this time. It's ridiculous. It's lack of strategy. So if you have 2 days or 3 days, you better take the bull horn and start telling your supporters or those who you believe your voters to go and to register. That's the only way. Now they themselves go in. The same very people who were crying yesterday, they sure forget about the sense of business, because the sense is just to tell us where we stand as a country, as a people. It's not going to tell us how many qualified voters. It is the registration process going to tell us the total number of persons that are going to vote. So why were they so confused? Why were they confused? Why they stopped their supporters from going to register? Because the things that were coming from out of them, it doesn't give their supporters the hope. So it's like, oh, what's the need? If I register, I vote, they will cheat. So that's the Donald Trump type of conspiracy that he created here. Now they are asking for the extension. Hell no, no extension. If you don't register, wait for the next whatever year that comes for the elections, you will participate. Thank you so much and have a pleasant evening. I'm Alphonso Zean Soe, and we will see you when we see you. Bye-bye.